Schools may be out this week, but that has not stopped learning for 20 students in a specialty camp in Palm Beach County. The students in Camp Quest on Singer Island have been learning life skills, golf, photography, and horticulture over the last 4 days. On Friday, they visited Asia as part of their journey around the world in 7 weeks. Each week, they are spending time on a different continent where they are learning about the culture, the food, the music, and other important aspects of the continent. The 7-week Camp Quest continues next Monday. Summer campers on Singer Island continued their quest of having fun in the sun this week as they enjoyed endless activities guaranteed to keep youngsters entertained and engaged. They kicked off their week with golf and gardening, followed by photography and fishing on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they had plenty of fitness and fun when they participated in nearly 20 traditional and non-traditional sports at the Kids Fitness Festival of the Palm Beaches. The event was held at the Jim Brandon Equestrian Center in West Palm Beach. They spent Thursday on the water fishing and swimming off the coast of Palm Beach. On Friday, they visited Africa as part of their journey around the world in 7 weeks. Each week, they are spending time on a different continent where they are learning about the culture, the food, the music, and other important aspects of the continent. The 7-week Camp Quest continues next Tuesday. The fun continued at Camp Quest this week for the campers on Singer Island. They kicked off the short week with photography on the beach in the sun and sand. They had an inspirational conversation with council member Kashamba Miller Anderson, who joined them during their lunch and learn hour. They spent Wednesday on the links at Lone Pine Golf Course in West Palm Beach, where they sharpened their driving and putting skills. Later that afternoon, they carved out some time to learn about drowning prevention from some of Palm Beach County's best. On Thursday, they heard from a spear fisherman about career opportunities in the marine industry and learned about the mysteries of the ocean. They also got a close-up look at a lionfish, which the campers found very fascinating. After lunch at the Port of Palm Beach, they heard from executives about the history of the port and the role it serves in the region. They later cooled down during a session of yoga. They continued their journey around the world on Friday as they learned about the foods, animals, and landmarks of North America. For the last 3 weeks, they are spending time on a different continent where they are learning about the culture, the food, the music, and other important aspects of the continent. The 7-week Camp Quest continues next Monday. The fun continued at Camp Quest this week for the campers on Singer Island. They started the week with aviation and aircraft maintenance with flight safety. They also had an educational conversation with Councilwoman Julia Battelle and her assistant Sam Brown. On Tuesday, over cake to celebrate one of the campers' birthdays, they got a chance to speak with the city manager of Riviera Beach, Jonathan Evans. The students had the opportunity to learn about mushroom sprouts and as a group are caring for their own. Wednesday's camp was a day full of gardening and water fun. The students spent half their day learning about the different plants of Florida and using mini microscopes to explore the garden beds. The campers then got an opportunity to plant watermelons and other fruits to take home. During camp on Thursday, they got to meet with 4 real estate agents and discuss the difference between commercial and residential properties. The students also had the opportunity to learn about hydroponics and plant green beans using only water and perlite. After lunch, the campers had a chill time learning how to sew with a few quick stitches. Friday, they learned about the foods, animals, and people of South America as part of their journey around the world in 7 weeks. Each week, they are spending time on a different continent where they are learning about the culture, the food, the music, and other important aspects of the continent. The 7-week Camp Quest continues next month. Camp Questers continued to enjoy a truckload of fun this week as they spent week 5 in their STEM camp on Singer Island. They kicked off the week with a roundtable discussion with CNN hero and founder of Estella's Brilliant Bus, Estella Mims Pyfrom. The former educator used her retirement funds to build a bus and outfitted it with computers so she could bring learning to those students and communities who had no access to computers. Ms. Pyfrom cautioned the campers about choosing their words carefully, as some words can be hurtful to others. The Questers also learned about the science of aerodynamics and created stomp rockets with help from 4-H representatives. On Tuesday, they walked through Green Cave Nature Center and wetlands where they photographed a variety of different animal and plant life as part of their photography class. Lunch, courtesy of Miss Janet Meeks, was at Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce. They heard from Chamber Executive Director Stephanie Immelman and Mr. Rick Burgess, owner and operator of Dealers Pro Choice and Auto Body and Collision Center. The campers were on hand to witness the swearing in of 2 former members of KOP Mentoring Network as Delray Beach police officers. On Wednesday, they visited the zoo right from their seats when Busch Wildlife, a refuge and nature center for Florida wildlife, brought to the camp a baby alligator, a tortoise, a corn snake, an eastern screeching owl, and a barred owl who was sadly missing an eye. They collected gems on Thursday from a licensed contractor, a representative from a microgreens company, a psychotherapist, and council member Doug Lawson. They spent Friday in Antarctica, where they learned about the foods, culture, animals, and important landmarks. The 7-week Camp Quest continues next.
The fun continued at Camp Quest this week on Singer Island. They started the week with a water cycle experiment where they recreated the water cycle in a mason jar. They heard from Delia Sharmine, an electronic medical records consultant, who taught them about the importance of being on time and gratitude. They received prizes for their work and learned a lot of new ideas. On Tuesday, campers listened as a shark enthusiast showed them underwater photos and spoke about his experience swimming with the sharks and other underwater animals. They later showcased their creative eye with another week of photography. Mayor Ronnie Felder of Rivera Beach told them over lunch about life skills and the importance of conducting themselves appropriately at all times. At camp on Wednesday, the members of the Rivera Beach Fire Department stopped by to give them an introduction to the world of fire science. After answering their questions, the firefighters gave the campers a static exhibit of their medical vehicle and their ladder truck. Later in the day, they heard from Sarah Goodman, a literary attorney who introduced them to copyright laws. On Thursday, Laverne Blackwood, a human resources consultant, spoke about the importance of soft skills that you acquire over time. They ended the day with a nice, relaxing yoga session. They visited Europe on Friday, where they learned about the foods, animals, and important landmarks as a part of their journey around the world in 7 weeks. Each week, they are spending time on a different continent, where they are learning about the culture, the food, the music, and other important aspects of the continent.
Friendship, fun, adventure, nature, games, and more fun. Ask any camper in Camp Quest 21 how was their summer, and you are sure to hear those words. As the campers wrap up the final week of their experience, they heard from retired meteorologist Chris Farrell, formerly of Channel 12, who told them to never give up in pursuing their goals in life. They had a chance to explore nature when they visited Wakatahatchee wetlands. They took photographs of various species of birds and plants, and they also saw alligators. They also had an adventure of their lifetime, or maybe an adventure of the 7 weeks, on a ranch in Parkland where they saw some beautiful Arabian horses, as well as bunnies, chickens, and goats. They also visited the zoo right from their seats when Busch Wildlife, a refuge and nature center for Florida wildlife, brought a baby alligator, a tortoise, a corn snake, an eastern screeching owl, and a red soldier hawk. After a relaxing morning of arts and crafts, they had a taste testing. Yes, they had the famous Granny B's shrimp and garlic bread with homemade cooking butter during lunch. Speaking of food, the campers will end their experience on Friday in Australia, where they will learn about the culture, the foods, animals, and important landmarks. They will also cook and sample some dishes from the land down under. Each week, they spent time on a different continent. Reporting for Community Conversations, my name is Janai O'Mara.
And special thanks to our sponsors for help making Camp Quest 2021 possible.
Camp Quest 21. I welcome each one of you here to share this special occasion with us. We are aware that for many of you, this is a sacrifice. But for the last 7 weeks, we've been immersed in nature, exploring new things, traveling to different places, and making new friends. I would like to thank all of our sponsors for helping us experience all of these, making the experience possible. I will never forget Camp Quest 21. You'll be formally acknowledged later in the program.
So Anderson. Babier. Marcel Andrews. Police Nate Osmond.
Representing him.
Those representing him. Delray Beach Police Chief DeMarlo Sims.
So I started my day in Delray Beach, where I ran into C. Ron and been on the road for most of the day. And it really time to think about how our whole relationship started. It goes back a while, a long time now. And I remember the day where it clicked for me what mentoring means when it comes to C. Ron and KOP, right? That word's thrown around a lot, right? Oh, I do mentoring. And I think it was, where it really clicked for me, is when you involved me in, you took all the kids to see Black Panther, right? You took them to Microsoft, and I really got to see it firsthand. I didn't get invited to the movie, but I got invited to all the other stuff. And I met him at the Town Center Mall, Boca Raton, at Microsoft, and I got to really see it. And then it put me in a position to ask the questions to really understand it. And what I think is so impressive is there's a lot of groups out there that are helping our youth, and thank you to all of them. There's a lot of people out there. But we live in a really dynamic, complex time, right? The things that all these kids can be when they grow up is growing every single day. There is a new dream job or a new dream adventure every single day. That the world is moving faster than it ever has. And so their opportunities and their ways to get to those dream lives are infinite. And it really takes an organization that can keep up with those times, that can reach out into the community and put our youth in the right places at the right times. This is not just about academics, it's so much more than that. And that's what impresses me. That's when I got it. So using the word mentoring, I wish I had another word, but it doesn't even do it justice. And I'm here today to say thank you, and I can't wait to see what all of you are going to do, because like every generation, the next generation has more potential than the one before it. And I believe that, and we're in good hands, and you can do whatever you want to do. And from all of my colleagues, we have a Delray Beach City pin, which is something new that we're doing, and I'd like to give this to you, sir. And thank you, everyone here today, for supporting such an incredible organization, and especially that on our stage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I do believe it is important to note that this is the only camp in Palm Beach County where the leadership team is made of college and high school students. While I served as a of the year and the good fall. Now I ask you to please direct your attention to the screen for a recap of Camp Quest 1. Mr. Bobby Canada, so sorry if I'm butchering. He is the chairman of Caleb Board of Directors, and I'd also like to acknowledge some of the board members, Chris Harvey, Ms. Robin Johnson Blake,
Hello, my name is Jasmine Collins, and during the past 2021, I serve as the assistant director for the camp. So, good evening. It has been a delight to work with the 17 campers for the past 7 weeks. Camp started at 7:30 a.m. and ended each day at 5:30 p.m. It was so interesting to see their brains and personalities develop and expand as they learned so much throughout the days and broadened their horizons. They had so many opportunities to learn new things that are not always available to them at school and also in the real world. They also had amazing opportunities to take on leadership roles in the camp, and while they were learning, they were also able to say every day that they had fun. I'd like to thank our sponsors for making this camp possible: Delray Beach Police Department, the Palm Beach Youth Services Department, Amazon Hub, the Riviera Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, Riviera Beach Community Development Corporation, Riviera Beach Parks and Recreation, Friends of Riviera Beach Schools, the Port of Palm Beach, and the Inner City Youth Golfers. Over the 7 weeks, we had dynamic speakers and presentations. We also had amazing field trips. Among them was the Kids Fitness Festival, where our campers were able to get opportunity of hands-on experience and develop skills in different sports clinics. We also had a fishing and boating trip on the Intercoastal Waterway, a visit to Peanut Island, MacArthur State Park, Green Cay Nature Preserve, and Jonathan Dickinson State Park. A day of golfing at the Long Pine Golf Course, a visit to the Port of Palm Beach, and a day at Barracuda Bay Aquatic Center. We also had enriching activities such as sewing, presentations from Bush Wildlife, 7 weeks of photography sessions from Mr. Pierce, golf and fishing instruction, gardening, and Scholars Club. We also traveled to 7 continents every Friday, where we learned about the culture, language, flags, music, and dances. And how can I forget about the food? We also had the opportunity to cook different foods from every continent. It was an amazing experiment where the campers got to learn things they don't learn in school, and the opportunity opened their eyes to new places that they can one day visit. We also had the priceless opportunity to cook shrimp and boiled peanuts thanks to the famous Granny Bees. Additionally, it was heartwarming to watch as the campers began developing an interest in the game of chess. On day 1 of camp, only 1 camper chose interest. But at the end of the week, they were all set. We had a tournament yesterday, and the tables were filled as nearly every camper was engaged. Dennis Anderson was the first place winner. They learned discipline, how to focus, how to be in control, how to avoid being manipulated, and that sometimes you have to lose swim. The experience was also challenging. As a mentoring camp, every camper and coach is able to learn from each other. Campers learn from the junior coaches learn from the other coaches. As a junior at Florida State University, I had the opportunity to hone my leadership skills. I learned about budgeting, scheduling, time management, and delegating. Where else would I be able to get such an opportunity to run an entire business for myself? As a product of KOP Mentoring Network, I learned so much about life and business. I learned more about myself and about working with the team to complete goals. Overall, we had a great summer camp. The camp became a home away from home. Like family, we laughed, we cried, and celebrated birthdays together. It is sad to be over, but it was truly an unforgettable summer. I'm sure that was about. Thank you for all of your time, and we look forward to your continued support.
Your responses, please stand and be acknowledged when I call your names. Amazon Gov, Miss Gina Pierce. City of Delray Beach, Miss Jenny Moss. Delray Beach Police Department, Chief Navarro Sims. Friends of Revere Beach Schools, Mrs. Mary Beth Hopper. Palm Beach County, Commissioner Matt Bernard. Fort Palm Beach, Commissioner Joseph Anderson. Rivera Beach CRA and CDC, Miss Anita Jenkins. Rivera Beach Parks and Recreation, Mr. Richard Blankenship. Inner City Youth Golfers, Mr. and Mrs. Knowles. We have some posters created by Amazon Hub, which will be presented to each sponsor at the end of the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly been our pleasure serving.
Equity, diversity, and inclusion has accelerated conversations in the workplace, from hiring initiatives to practices and policies, both big and small.
But the push doesn't stop there. It's uniquely being promoted in one area summer camp.
WPTV News Channel 5's Arthur Mondale reports from Singer Island, where children are learning it's not too early to prioritize it.
How many countries in Europe? 50. Yes. How many are we going to visit when we take vacation? 50.
In 7 weeks, the kids in Camp Quest have 7 continents to cover.
It's not the history of the continent. It's not the politics of the continents. It's what are you going to do when you go there?
And they've got passports. They learn the culture, values, even how to cook the most popular foods. For Yeva Davis, she's inspired to one day work in England or Antarctica.
To make a world a better place for kids like me to grow.
That's part of the pledge here at Camp Quest.
I will go to college. I will succeed. This is my promise. This is my creed.
A camp operated by the Knowledge, Opportunity, and Prosperity Mentoring Network for ages 7 to 17.
We wanted our campers to know that you're living in a global society, so we want to make sure we prepare you for life after graduation in this global society.
Founder C. Ron Allen says this is the first year Camp Quest, which packs a lot in 7 weeks, has done an around-the-world enrichment course. But there's a reason.
You know, Arthur, when you identify with someone from a different culture, this prevents misunderstanding, and it certainly creates an opportunity to understand people better.
It's a memory for them as well.
Facilitators say the camp is proof it's never too early to learn the importance of equity, diversity, and inclusion. Diversity comes with a global society.
Research is reading, research is identifying a need, and research is what they're going to need to know before they go any and everywhere.
And choosing fact over rumors and stereotypes. From Singer Island, Arthur Mondale, WPTV, News Channel 5.
This camp is headed to Australia next Friday, and while the camp is ending, regularly scheduled KOP programming does run year-round. If you're interested in learning more, there's some information posted for you on WPTV.com.
Let me acknowledge Michelle being paid for council member of the year, which is thank you. I said I won't keep you too long, but I have some body words I must share with you. Another summer camp season is in the books, and the transition back to school is on the horizon. What a wonderful summer. Exploring new places, making new friends, trying new things, just being immersed in nature. We always end each camp season with an eye towards the future and the excitement that lies ahead. But I think it's also important, Commissioner, to take a moment to consider the specific joys and the struggles that we had over the past 7 weeks. As I pause to reflect on it all, my heart is full of gratitude for our staff, our campers, in particular you, our camp parents, who entrusted your precious treasures to us. We appreciate the ways that you supported your children's growth by just encouraging them, asking them meaningful questions, and allowing them to just learn and lean into their newfound sense of independence. Young people, as you can imagine, the last days of camp can be emotional. I told you guys no need to be crying, save the tears. After all, we have hung out, we played, we learned, we laughed, and in some cases, cried. And we've grown together for the last 7 weeks. The bonds of friendship were forged at Camp Quest 21. We're uniquely strange and strong. And although each of you are excited to go back to school and not having to say the pledge, or the allegiance, or get written up by Mr. Durkin, or Miss Tiffany, or just sad to say goodbye, even when we know we'll see each other again, maybe in September, when we start our new year, or next year, when we have our next camp. But the magical thing about KOP Mentoring Network is that this is more than a place where we spend our summer. It is parents, it is a community to which your children belong all year. And just as camp friends stay in touch once they return to their normal lives, the lessons of Camp Quest 21 will follow each of your darling Carolinians home, and it will be part of who he or she is. People judge you by
The words you said.
the words you use and way you carry yourself. There's a method to it. You must always have a plan, a backup plan, and a contingent. Wait, so at least some of y'all were listening. But you know, that is because Camp Quest wasn't just about making friends and learning new skills. It was about learning and growing. Letting your son and your daughter spread his or her wings and just find his or her own way. And making a place where he or she can just feel safe, exploring who he or she wants to be. Yes, I know there were times when you wondered why your child could not drink soda for lunch, or have candy during camp, or even the no cell phone policy. Even though some of you guys found ways to sneak it in, so you can visit your TikTok pages, Mr. Anderson. But I assure you, parents, your child was never in danger, and we had the best interests of your precious treasures at all times. Our campus had a chance to just broaden their horizons with activities like golf and boating that they may not do anywhere but camp. The horticultural sessions, I noticed Mr. Dennis was saying, amen. Well, the horticultural sections taught them the value of good health. In yoga, they learned and gained mindfulness. In fine arts, they channeled their energy into creative expression. And in public speaking, they learned to conquer their fears, step out of their comfort zone, and it just builds up their reserves of confidence and resolve. Let's not forget sports. When your child played field games at the Kids Fitness Festival a few weeks ago, they were not only building their athletic prowess, they were learning to be good sportsmen and sportswomen and team players. With their peers and their coaches by their side, many of them, in fact, most of them, celebrated their achievements and learned from their mistakes. I just hope that, so you got to leave, Mr. Bobby. Thank you for being here. Thank you, guys. I just hope that once the excitement of this 7 weeks has settled down, we hope that you have a chance to talk with them about what they learned and achieved, their successes and their challenges alike, along with the values of respect, teamwork, and good work ethic. The lessons of the past 7 weeks are just ones that they will bring home and employ in school, in their houses of worship, in activities in your neighborhood, and in their friendships throughout the year. Say what? No, you don't time me up. I told you guys I'm going to be here for a while. What did you do? Let me also add that KOP Mentor Network operates year-round and will kick off our program in September. We'll offer our aviation program, which is Soaring Eagles. We'll offer financial literacy and wealth-building, horticulture, which is gardening. And we'll be adding an equestrian component this year. Just notice our dynamic chef just walked in as well. We are considering offering some cooking classes with Miss B in the coming months. To our dynamic coaches who worked tirelessly to provide these children with an incredible camp experience, thank you. These coaches were trailblazers. They made history by being the only camp, as you heard earlier, the only camp in the county where the entire leadership were either high school or college students. Yes. I think we had one middle school coach, Ms. Strong. And you know something?
Mr. Simon, I'm standing right here.
Roxy, my eyes, you're a college student. And you know what? While I pushed you guys beyond your limits every day, Tiffany, Janaya, Jelena, and Jasmine, I did so because I saw potential in you that you were not comfortable pushing or pursuing. Most of you gave your best to your jobs, and as each day brought new challenges and new successes, you were energized, you were exhausted, you were inspiring. Yes, you may not realize it now, but I promise you a meal at your favorite restaurant that many of these small fries were inspired by you. As I prepare to take my seat, let me underscore what Miss Jasmine said. None of this could have happened if Miss Anita Jenkins and Chief Javaro Sims had not sown. Hold up, son, hold up. Give them flowers while they're alive, but hang on. This would not have happened if those two individuals had not sown the first seeds in this program. Let's give it up for that. Thank you to all our sponsors who believe in the power of mentoring and installed their confidence in KOP just to carry out the task of preparing our youth to be tomorrow's leaders in this, our global society. Ms. Jenkins, will you join me up here, please? No, he's going to say too, but I just want to say these flowers are just a token of our appreciation to you. How can I not give a politician a microphone? In my church you are.
Just very briefly, I have to not break down in tears because being with this camp from the beginning and seeing these young junior counselors 4.5 years ago and seeing how these children have grown, it is the most gratifying experience and shows that the investment in our young people is worth it. It is worth it. So I want to say thank you to our commissioners for providing dollars and support. Thank you to the CDC leadership for stepping up and providing dollars and support. Thank you, parents, for allowing your children to participate in this experiment that we knew was something that was groundbreaking. So on behalf of my agency, the CRA, on behalf of the CDC, we're so happy to have been able to provide this opportunity. Thank you, young people, for allowing me to go along sometimes, going to the Kravis Center, going to some of the outings, and coming to eat with you around the world. It has been so tremendous. So thank you, C-Ron. Thank you for the flowers. And we look forward to the next camp. And it will be right here in Riviera Beach. Right, Commissioner? Yes,
That was a school board member, Marsha Andrews. I don't know if they have a school board meeting today, but anyway, she's downstairs, so one of you guys can fill her in once she gets up. My partner in crime, my right hand, Ms. Maribeth Cofer. Will you join me up here, please? Down the board.
You know, it's been a very, very interesting 7 weeks for me. Never had children. Probably missed not having grandchildren. But I have enjoyed the opportunity to provide guest speakers. We have had a wide variety, from police and fire to fishermen to politicians, to aircraft mechanics. We have had a tremendous opportunity. And the one thing that each of them, I think, made pretty clear is the most important thing that each of you have is what? Your integrity, exactly. And we're not talking about our camper integrity. We had a little girl named Integrity. Integrity is the most important thing that you carry with you. And the other thing that they taught was just because mom or dad wants you to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, if you are persistent, you are determined, and you are passionate about something, there are many, many opportunities out there in the world for you. Not just in the things that you think you can make a living, but there are all sorts of opportunities. And so I hope that that's stuck with everyone. That if you find what it is you really, really, really love to do, it is not difficult to get up in the morning and go to work. And so I challenge you, each of you, to look at yourselves, look what you like, look what you want to be and where you want to be, and to go toward that dream. And there's no dream that you cannot achieve. You just have to put, as our speaker the other day said, one foot in front of the other, and there will be hurdles, and there will be side steps, but it is just one foot after another. So good luck to all of you. Does it have anybody's telephone number you need?
There it is. She
fantastic about this young man, he do it from the heart. He truly believes in what he's doing because he truly believes in the kids. He truly believes that these kids should have as best chance as they possibly can to be successful in this world. And with that being said, one thing my parents always instilled in me was, and I express this with the kids, be the author of your own book of life. You write your story. You determine what that book will read. You determine each and every chapter in that book. Everything you do, every experience that you have, every person that you associate yourself with, every decision you make or don't make will be part of that book. Everything that happens in life, in your life, will be part of that book. But you are writing that book. Because eventually that book comes to an end. That book comes to an end. And what that tells me, that end is your legacy. about you when you're not gone? What contributions have you made in society that's been beneficial for someone other than yourself? A legacy is about what you do for others, not yourself. So you write a good book. You write a bestseller. You know what I'm saying? You write a bestseller. I look forward to reading your books one day. Okay? Congratulations.
Hands down. Finally, as Jasmine said earlier, and we do this every year, we want to thank you again, parents, for giving your children the gift of camp, the trust and the confidence that you placed in us, and for being a part of the KOP Mentor Network family. We treasure the opportunity to make some home for your sons and daughters. From all of us here, good night.
Absolutely, I want you to introduce the school board member, and I bring greetings from our superintendent, Mr. Mike Burke, and all 7 school board members. I'm coming from one event to the other, but I told Dr. Simon Allen I was going to make it over here to say hello to the campers. You are awesome. You have been learning this summer, doing great things to grow and develop and be happy and prosper. And I want to tell you, as I kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of the things that you were doing this summer, it was impressive. And the camp counselors, where are the camp counselors? You are awesome. You visit the students every single day. And it's also about really learning, growing, and experiencing new things. There's so much great about being at camp, especially in the summer. Learning things that you didn't learn when you were in school every single day. And learning is a process of growth and development, and the camps are a place to do it. So I want to thank every one of you who have helped all of our students to really achieve this summer. We're getting ready to go back to school soon, everybody. And we're so happy to have you back and full throttle, where you will be a brick and mortar in your school building with your teachers who love you so very much, with your principals and your counselors. And I know moms and dads, you probably hate to see them go, but we got to get them back to school. We got to get them back to their teachers who are waiting so patiently for them. We are still in a pandemic and it's very difficult out there. But I promise you, as a school district of Palm County, your school district students, we're going to take good care of you. We can't wait for you to come on Tuesday. We've been preparing. I've been visiting schools today. This is where I made it over here to say to you that your teachers are waiting on you. They're smiling, they're getting their bulletin boards together, they're getting their classrooms together to make sure you are happy and you are safe. And we're not going to let this pandemic turn us around. We're going to be in those classrooms and we're going to do everything our teachers tell us to do to learn and grow. But most of all, we want you to feel comfortable coming back. We're really concerned about your emotional, your social, and your mental health students. This summer, so you've had a good time. But a lot of children don't get a chance to go to camp. So you're going to help a lot of kids come back into the school district and feel good about themselves. You feel good because guess what? You've had a great summer. And now it's time to really get back to learning. We know that from being in this pandemic for almost 18 months, we fell behind a little bit because some of you were in brick and mortar at the schools and some of you were on remote, virtual. And it's tough to do it on a computer. We know that. We learned that as school board members. We learned that as teachers and parents. As students, you learned that because it was difficult not to have your teacher there to touch you and tell you how important you are and how much they love. They told you in so many ways. But it was hard because many of you didn't have your friends with you at home. Or if you were at school, some of your friends were at home. So we're just so thrilled to get you back. We're going to do everything with all about precautions and keeping things clean and neat. With filters to keep the air flowing clean, to make sure everything's wiped down and sanitized, to give you as much time outside in the beautiful air We're going to do everything we can to make sure your experience, starting the school on Tuesday, is a great experience. And I want you to know, students, you had a good time in camp, but I promise you, you're going to have a good time when you begin school on Tuesday. And we're going to make it comfortable for you. We want you to do heavy-duty work and learn everything you can learn. But we want you to know when you come back on the first day Tuesday, it can be a little difficult because many of you haven't been back to school in a long time. And for those of you that were in brick and mortar, you're getting to see your friends maybe for the first time in a long time. And it is a social and emotional kind of mental health issue when you're trying to develop and grow and do everything everybody wants you to do and you're trying to settle back into school and you've been gone almost 2 years of a normal school pattern. So as your school board member, I told Simone, we're going to take care of you. We've got pretty close to 200,000 children of Palm Beach County, 180 plus schools. I'm coming now from the western region, the Glades and the Roy Palm area, all the way over here to Rivera Beach. But you know, our district goes all the way to Jupiter and all the way to Boca Raton. So we have a lot of kids to love and care about. I'm just so excited to see you and to tell you congratulations. Being in camp, learning so many great things this summer, and I just want you to help the other children when they see you. See them. I want you to just tell them it's going to be okay. Don't worry. Teachers will be there to take care of you. Miss Andrews, the school board, the superintendent, we're all going to be there to take care of you. We're in and out of the school to make sure if you need anything, we're going to be there. And moms and dads, volunteers in here, just know we got this. And we're going to take care of the children. They mean everything to us. And we've got to make sure they grow, they develop, they're happy, they're successful, and they are learning. And that's what we're all about. And we're going to spend 24/7 making it happen for you all as you get back to school. So hip, hip, hooray! School starts on Tuesday. The buses will be rolling. Some of you will be walking. And some of you will be riding with your parents. But we're going to all be there to greet you. Whichever way you come, this is going to be a good day. And I'm just happy to say I'm here with you today. Answer any questions that you may have. I know it's been an issue about masks, so I can point that up and tell you that I know it's controversial. I do believe that parents will put this in the children, but I do believe children we're in a pandemic. And the school board of Palm Beach County is strongly encouraging the parents to let their children wear the mask when we're inside. Once we get outside the building, do what you need to do because you're in the air. But we're strongly encouraging you to wear the mask. The COVID cases have increased, as you very well know, with the Delta variant. It's doing a lot of bad things. Killing them. Putting people in the hospital. And everybody below the age of 12 have not had a chance to get the vaccine. That's right. So it's really tough. Anybody 12 and over had an opportunity to get the vaccine. I encourage you to get the vaccine if you haven't got the vaccine, if you're 12 and over. I'm hoping that we will have a vaccine soon for the middle. But I promise you in the schools, we're going to have these events separated. You see how this is situated right here? We're going to try to keep our desks for our children tables separated so that no one will be right on top of anybody. And if a parent chooses to have a kid or her child not wear the mask, we're not going to worry anybody because it is a parent's choice. But we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that everybody feels safe. And that's what we're doing. We're going to try to have more lunches outside at picnic tables. We're ordering more picnic tables so that kids can eat outside when it's a beautiful thing to eat outside in the fresh air. We're working on that. We're working also to make sure that we keep our buses safe and spread kids out on the bus if you're on the bus. So we're doing all that we can to make sure we keep the children safe and healthy and happy so that we can begin to learn again the way we're supposed to learn with our teacher who loves us very much. Your teacher loves you. And they missed you. And they've been looking at you on the screen. And they don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to see you on the screen anymore. Sometimes when I visit the school, I have to look into your faces and teachers know about simultaneous teaching. When you're looking at the screen. Yeah. And you're looking at the children right in the classroom. It doesn't work. It does not work well. And so we're just so glad to have you back to school. And I've been running around for days now, making sure all the schools are ready. I wish superintendent's working on everybody. And the parent, or support person, counselors, if you hear anything about any of your counselors feeling a little uncomfortable, I brought my business card to everybody so that you can call me personally if you have concern. Moms and dads, support here, police. We're going to be safe. We have a wonderful chief of police, and we have a police officer in every school. And we just had a presentation, press conference today with the superintendent and his team and the chief of police. The school says, guess what, kids? When you walk to school, one of your best friends that's there is the school police officer. He's your counselor, or she's your counselor. She's your supporter, and she's just like your teacher. She's just like your teacher. So they're waiting on you to take care of you, the counselors, we have mental health counselors in every school. We're going to look at everything for you to know that if you feel a little scared when you go on the first day, just tell somebody. It's okay to tell somebody. I'm not okay. I'm a little nervous today. Or if you're happy, just be happy. We'll be there to sing and clap with you. But if you feel a little shaky on the first day of being back, that has been gone for almost 2 years, don't think you have to do it all on the first few days of school. We will work you into the process to get you acclimated to getting back here. It's been a long time. Lots of things have changed. But we're going to give you time to be ready. Questions? Anybody with a question? We love you. We love you, Catholic. We love you.
Only one apology here. Like I said, the work you see over here is done by the campers. So take a moment and I guess it's a different set. So and if acknowledge the facilitators or presenters present. If you were a facilitator or a presenter during this camp, you can stand. I'm done. Thank you, brother.
It's fair.